Z159 FM.
Did you know Tom and Dan have been putting on a free beer fest for over 11 years now? And did you also know that when they die, this beer fest dies with them because most people would rather die than organize a free beer fest? It's funny, because it's true. It's the 2025 Tom and Dan Bad at Business Beer Fest, November 22nd. Wristbands for tasting and doors open at noon. The first 500 people receive a free gift bag with their sample cup. Beer starts flowing at 2 p.m. You must have a valid photo ID, no exceptions. Vendors, booths, food trucks, live music, and all of this in the heart of beautiful downtown Sanford. All presented by attorney Mo DeWitt at justcallmo.com. It's the 2025 Tom and Dan Bad at Business Beer Fest, November 22nd. Everyone will be there, unless they die. Please don't die.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, YouTube. We do have guests. We're getting them organized here so they look good on camera. Yeah. We have the Science Center.
Yeah, I don't need headphones to say, go to the website.
Yeah. Jeff's been doing this for a while.
I will say, hey, I'm with the Science Center. We have cool stuff. Here's Kasha. And then I come back at the end and they go to the website.
Yeah. Jeff knows. He knows. Like, we all know our roles. I am the wacky one. You keep us on schedule.
Well, maybe today we'll interview Jeff.
Oh, you gotta put me in the hot seat. Throw a curveball.
Let's go.
All right, Kasha, the website is osc.org. All right.
He knows we messed that up. He's like these knuckleheads. Okay. I got Jeff looking good. I got Kasha looking. Okay. I think we're good, man.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Van. Would you like to start? Welcome,
Sure.
YouTube and Twitch. Glad to have you. I know this is weird, but I'm here for it. Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and you can be there as well every Monday through Friday. Just check us out. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live.
So there's a Science Night Live tomorrow at the Orlando Science Center. And
It's like a summer farewell, I believe. Like goodbye summertime, hello school,
Yeah.
hello work.
And these Science Night Lives are awesome. They're your chance as an adult to check out the Science Center, wander around, have a drink if you want.
You can act like an adult, too. Get yourself a little beverage, maybe a little bite.
See some awesome shows. Jeff is here from the Science Center. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, thanks for having me. Yes.
And so for Science Night Live, if you're a member, it's a little bit cheaper, right, for tickets?
Yes, yeah. If you're a member, you are getting the best price on tickets. You're only paying $3 for a ticket to Science Night Live. Everybody else is paying $20. And Science Night Live is our adult event.
Yep.
We only do it a few times a year. We are opening the Science Center up just for adults from 8 to 11:30 coming up on Saturday night. and all kinds of cool stuff happening that doesn't normally happen during the science. All the exhibits, yes, but a lot of really cool special stuff too.
And you can kind of like
yeah.
wander around, right? Like,
yeah, you wander around and check out the exhibits, but then we've got, Kasha Patel, who is an awesome science comedian. We've got BMO, great local band. They're going to be playing multiple times. We've got Ricardo from Nerd Night Orlando doing trivia. We've got some scientists from the Florida Space Institute doing some really cool presentations and all kinds of stuff. So it's just a big night at the Science Center and open if you're 18 and up. This is the event for you.
Well, you already mentioned her, but we have Kasha Patel in studio with us.
Hey, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to say science influencer and comedian. And have you been taking that moniker as a science influencer? Because I feel like that correctly describes you.
Yeah.
That's the first I've heard. I don't know who I'm influencing, but come to the show and maybe we'll see.
I would imagine like young people, I mean, that's kind of what we're all trying to do, right?
I've been very influenced by you,
Well, we're
Kasha,
trying to
so
shake the STEM tree,
Yes,
right? Like for all the
absolutely.
kiddos
Yes.
and get them. And I know that, your boys are into it. I know my daughter's into it. So I would imagine that's
Nice.
kind of who your target audience would be.
Well, I feel like presenting science in a super entertaining way is
Not dry.
yeah, and maybe with like Neil deGrasse Tyson and other science influencers that are out there, and they're kind of presenting science in a entertaining way that draws people in, and I think that's what you're doing, Kasha.
Yeah. I mean, I am a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
So my number one goal is to make people laugh.
Yes.
And if they learn some science with it, that's cool. If I say something to them and they want to Google it later, that's cool with me. But my number one goal as a comedian is to make them laugh. Like that is every goal of a comedian.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Well, when did your love for science, though? How did you? Well, let's start with comedy. When did the love for what was first?
What was
Let's
first?
go there.
Yeah.
Science or comedy?
Yeah, I mean, as an Indian, it is mandatory that I be into science.
Okay.
Even if you don't go into science.
You got the goods.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Jeff, you should book her.
Right. I was into science before I was conceived. Yeah. No, it's an interesting, life thing that happens. It's I was supposed to go to medical school. I did all the volunteering when I was young in all the hospitals. I studied chemistry when I was in college. And I needed to take the MCAT, but I still had a gap year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to science journalism for my gap year. I took the MCAT, studied that. I went up to Boston, saw a comedy show there, and I was like, hey, I think I can do that.
You're in the right. You're in a good. Yeah, you went to a
Right.
big comedy city
Right.
and saw a really good and you got hooked, didn't you?
Yeah, so I started taking stand-up comedy classes, and they always say joke about what you know first. So I talked about my upbringing as an Indian in West Virginia, born and raised. Go Mountaineers!
My wife's family's all coal mine folks, but I didn't know there were any Indians there.
Come to my show. I'll tell you all about it.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. This
Wait,
is
where
fantastic.
are they all from?
Oh my God, if my wife is in the chat room, she'll be able to tell
Type
me.
it in,
Yeah.
type it in.
Well, I've never been to. That's more her side of the family.
Yeah, you don't
but,
associate with that.
Oh,
Gotcha.
hell yeah, they're gross. Disgusting. Ew. But yeah, they're all West Virginia folk. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow,
Kasha,
very cool.
I imagine your parents were thrilled when you told them you were going stand-up comedian rather than doctor.
Yeah, I feel like even artist wins out over stand-up comedian, right? Like if you go, I'm going to be a pianist, and your parents are like,
Mr. and Mrs. Patel, they're like, oh yes, no, we were waiting for this moment. We can't wait to see you do stand-up. Anyway.
So it's just kind of funny because the first time my parents saw me do stand-up comedy, I was in Virginia, and I didn't invite them. They just showed up.
That's what parents do. Oh, no.
I was not inviting them. I walk in, and I think my parents were trying to surprise me. And I see my mom immediately, and she looks up, and her face looks so guilty. And she quickly, like, taps my dad, saying, look away, look away. I'm like, I know who you are.
Yeah, we're also in West Virginia. Easy to spot.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
like...
this was in Virginia,
Oh, okay.
and it was at a big Indian event.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was performing for a bunch of Indians, and what was great about this event was, oh my gosh, this is like one of the most memorable events I've ever had. There were a bunch of Indians, comedians up there, and there was like one white guy. And there's something when you're performing for Indians, like they don't like super dirty stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you just kind of got to know the crowd, and none
Okay.
of my stuff is dirty anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just sciencey. My dirtiest jokes have science in them for sure.
That's okay.
I heard the condom one.
There you go. It's like that.
Yeah, there you go, there you
Oh
go.
wow, you guys like Googled me.
Well, you know
yeah.
what? We find that if you're going to do your job, we should probably do ours. It's a crazy thing. Right? This whole
weird.
preparation and be respectful to your guest thing is, you know, not many people do it.
I was gonna say
Not many people.
professionals
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Anyways, people went up there and they just did not connect. There was other Indians that didn't connect. It was so bad. At one point, there was a girl up there that one of the guys, one of the uncles in the crowd, just dead silence. He goes, "Okay, next."
Oh, that's the worst.
Uncle, aunties, and uncles, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I know that concept of like, are they truly family members?
No,
or
no, no. You
it's
just
like
call like older people aunties and older men uncles.
in the Indian
older.
culture.
Okay,
like
all
you
right.
would like. I've heard auntie more, but then when you said that, I was like, oh, I bet that means just like.
It's like calling a bunch of people your cousins that you grew up around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, or like sir and ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Except
White
they say-
people don't do a lot of that. We hate everybody. You know, it's like there's no love there. There's like, well, we hate each other. We hate everyone and each other. I'm not calling you nothing.
As soon as mom forgets one day of her pills, going to the home.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Oh
white
my
people
God,
do.
they're shipping me off so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm not even as old as I look. I have to.
I want to put you in a home
I
now.
have to say that a lot, like, because I'm doing 1 year of hair. I'm doing a year of all my face hair, and
Wait, so this is January? Since January?
yeah, no, this just since January.
Yeah,
Oh,
you have,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you have a very West Virginia type look. Gosh, is at home now.
Yeah, for someone who doesn't like West Virginia,
Yeah.
you're really
Yeah.
exuding a lot of
Wearing
West
a
Virginia
uniform.
energy.
Yeah.
Well, I knew you were coming. So.
Since January, before I got born.
I was so waiting for. Jeff told me, he's like, you have
So-
an Indian performer coming.
So your parents were supportive of.
Oh, so what
okay.
happened for the gig? Everyone's kind of bombing, and then I go up there, but I have jokes because I'm a comedian and I know things, right? And like
Oh,
I
that
practice-
preparation thing again.
Yeah. Like, you know, before pandemic, I was going out 4 to 11 times a week. Like, this is just what you do. I would do like 4 shows in a night. So I went up there and like immediately from the get-go, like it went really well. And there's that silence when you're saying your joke, everyone's very silent, which is great because they're paying attention to you. And then when you hit the punchline, the entire crowd, like 400 people just like roaring in laughter.
Big crowd.
And then afterwards, everyone came up to not many people came up to me. They all came up to my mom and dad being like, you should be so proud of your daughter.
Is that like a cultural thing, right? Like,
it was and like one person was saying to my mom, you should continue letting her do this. She's good.
This is what you want. You want.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with getting like for instance, if you were to pay for a wedding. He wants to stand up at the front of the wedding as the patriarch, as the father.
Yeah.
And then have everybody, and then ting, 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 ting. He's like, you're having a great time, right? I'm the guy that did this. I did this to you, right?
You gotta let everybody know you paid
Yeah,
for it, like,
maybe.
so they can thank you. Like, oh, give a round of applause.
I mean,
no
you're-
one does that.
You're in the wrong. I mean, you need to start. You need to be an uncle.
Right.
yeah, I was
No,
going to say, you need
no.
to be friends with more Indian aunties and uncles.
Yeah.
Get the
Exactly.
credit.
Except for if my sons tell me they want to be stand-up comedians, I'm gonna be mad.
Well, they should have another job with it for a little
Very
bit.
similar
Yeah.
to podcaster too, which is like
Yeah.
who's sneaky.
Yeah, I'm like, don't do this.
Yeah, don't do anything but this.
So speaking of stand-up comedy, you have something on your resume that a lot of stand-ups.
Uh-oh.
In fact, I think every stand-up, and we've interviewed a lot of
I think
stand-ups,
you're-
hundreds.
Do you think one of one?
I don't even think. Yeah, I couldn't even think of one that has this on the
Oh
resume.
my gosh, what is it?
You performed in Antarctica.
Oh yeah.
I like how she's just like, oh, no big deal.
And I'm like,
yeah, that old thing.
and then I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, is this the same Antarctica I'm thinking of?
That's how dumb we are. I was in there, and I was giving him some West Virginia.
And so I'm looking at this, and then I'm like, and I could only think of like maybe there's like
He
a
screamed
base,
from the other room.
like the only population in Antarctica is like this group of housing that houses scientists and like.
Well,
it
that's
is
what
a
video
year-round-
games have taught me is that the only things there are like installation bases for scientific discovery.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
monsters
Is that kind of
Murdo
is that kind of
Yeah,
true?
and
Like-
aliens that want to take us over.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. See, Jeff gets it now where he just weighs in sort of like I do on the show. Like, I like that you know, like, we know what we do.
We know things. I know my role,
Thank
guys.
you,
Th-
Jeff.
There's always that move where I shut the door and lock it, and I left my buddy, and he goes to the portal.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, open the door!" And then I'm like, "I don't know what to do. I love you, but there's the monsters out there."
Guess who's the buddy?
And,
Yeah.
and then I have to just
And then
watch.
you just see my bloody
Yeah,
hands
sure.
drug down the glass.
and I'm like,
Fade to black.
And I'm like, I had something to do with this, so I could have let him in.
But you got to push that out of your mind because you got to survive.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's Antarctica for
Let's
you.
talk to, how
It's a cold
Was it
place.
like that?
It was exactly like
All
that.
right,
You
yeah.
guys really did your research.
how tell us about performing in Antarctica.
Yeah.
How did it happen?
Yeah, as you correctly said, there's not a lot of people there. So I mainly perform for the Penguins. And yeah, it was really fun. I mean, on my YouTube channel, it's at Casablanca. My name's Kasha Patel, but my username is Casablanca. And I have my video performing with the Penguins for them and stuff. And that was really dope. I did specific jokes, penguin jokes for the Penguins. And
That's so dumb and weird. I love it. That's like so mean.
Hold on, was this actual?
That's
did you
also
just-
very Chelsea Peretti. Like that's so dumb and stupid, and I love it. And I give you so much credit for wasting your time doing comedy for
Hold on,
penguins.
did you just take a cruise to Antarctica and then like, hey, videotape
Yeah.
me performing for these penguins?
Exactly.
They're not
Yeah.
laughing. They're not
Yeah.
laughing.
Oh,
Y'all suck.
Yeah, was one of the
Exactly.
jokes, I'm so happy everyone dressed up for the show.
I said, I see you got my note. This is a black tie event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was at some science base, and there's like researchers
No,
out.
this
It's
was
like
just
I'm like,
Kurt,
that's a
Kurt
tough
Russell's
crowd.
there with his J&B.
I
and,
like that this was a gigantic waste. It's the greatest.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what makes it such good comedy.
there is a National Science Foundation program that sends you to Antarctica for like the arts.
Okay.
And I have wanted to do that, but it's kind of competitive and stuff. And I was like, well, if I want to do this, I got to do my own way first. So I did it this way. And then, so that's part one of the video. And then part two of the video is me trying to figure out why the penguins didn't laugh. And like, do penguins have a sense of humor? And I go into like, not that deep. It's still very fun and light and funny.
That's cool.
Of why, like, what do they have a sense of humor? Like, we construct like them playing with each other, but is that humor or is that just like
Yeah.
them interacting?
How much
Well-
of that is a projection of what is a human characteristic that we're like
Exactly.
laying on top of
Exactly.
them? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because my family loves the documentary "The Octopus Teacher."
Oh yeah.
And
you guys watch
I
it
don't-
all the time. It's always on when you go there.
We watched it the other morning.
It's a little weird.
How many times can you watch that guy climb into a jar?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
And then there's a lot of research on octopus and how like smart they are.
Yeah.
To the point where they've shut down a lot of like octopus farms and
Yeah.
stuff, and they're like, this is cruel to a super intelligent creature. Like
Yeah.
you're just killing them for food. And then in that documentary, it shows the octopus that he was following like playing with fish and like entertaining itself.
Yeah.
And they had no idea that octopus even did that.
Yeah.
As and then dolphin do this, and like certain animals will just entertain themselves for
Didn't-
no survival purpose, just for their own.
Killer whales will do that,
Yeah.
and they won't they'll toss seals back and forth, but they won't eat them.
Yeah. There's
They're
weird,
just like kind of tossing them back and forth, like look at this, hey catch.
yeah.
Kinda, it's
Which is a
gruesome.
lot of
Grueling.
fun for the seal.
I mean, yeah, at first, that first launch is pretty good.
Yeah.
The second one's
All
crazy.
Well, they're
downhill
tough.
from there.
Yeah.
No, they're tough.
Seals
They're
are
glad
tough.
they just didn't die.
Yeah, there's
They're
a
like-
reason they call them Navy SEAls. That's why they call them that.
Yeah. But you
They're
think
very tough.
like we we have Savannah and talking about like the difference between wild and domesticated animals, and like wild animals have a tough existence, and they're just constantly trying to survive.
Like my
But then-
dog eats one goldfish cracker and gets diarrhea. One.
But then every once in a while, like in between surviving, they'll have fun. And then we're like, and that's weird.
Gotta
Like,
blow off some
weird
steam. Have a
Yeah.
couple cold ones.
It's
with
like,
the-
why are you having fun? This is a human thing.
Yeah.
Not a penguin thing.
Yeah, and it turns out lots of animals have fun. And
You're
it's
the
weird.
only one that doesn't.
I know.
What are you talking about? He watches Octopus Teacher 5 times a day.
I
there
would
used to
never do that as an octopus. I'd just be eating and just trying to survive
You
at
gotta
all
watch
times.
something different, man. There used to be a sushi restaurant I would go to, and the only thing they'd have on the TV is Jiro Dreams of Sushi, that documentary, and it was just on. It was on for like 10 years. I was like, you guys got to get another Blu-ray. It's too long.
So Kasha, let's talk about stand-up for a second, because you mentioned in that show that a lot of the stand-up comedians didn't have actual jokes. And I feel like, especially young stand-ups or new stand-ups, they'll see someone like Dave Chappelle, and they're like, I see he's up there just telling stories and hanging out. I want to be like that. And you're like, you're no Chappelle. Like, you got to write some jokes, because
Put in your time.
because sometimes the stand-up comedians are like, hey, I'll entertain with some stories, but it's like, man, that takes a while to learn how to tell, super
Yeah.
entertaining stories, and like having jokes sometimes is, like, hey, start with jokes, because it always, the audience knows what's coming, and something like play to your audience too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will power through their set even if it doesn't fit the audience. It's like, hey, just change it.
Well,
You
it
know,
may
that's
be
a
all they
hard thing
Yeah,
to
but it
learn.
may be all they have, which is
Yeah,
why
yeah,
they can't.
yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the interesting thing. Even when you're talking about stories are a series of jokes. Like, it's not, when you hear someone, I get this all the time, right? They're like, oh, you're a comedian, I have a joke for you. And they just go through this really long story, and you have to wait until the end for a punchline. That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
You listen to John Mulaney or like Mike Birbiglia, like throughout the story, you see the pulses where there are punches for that. So a stories is just kind of like a series of jokes anyways.
You're right. Yeah.
But with more of a narrative ending, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. They might have had jokes, but the biggest thing is being able to read the audience. So I have jokes and crowd work. I love doing crowd work. I forced myself to do crowd work to get over that fear. And now it's like one of my favorite things to do, especially talking to scientists in there. I was like hearing what they do and making fun of what they do and trying to get other people to figure out what they do.
That's what we
a
do,
lot of
but
fun.
with normal people. We have them call in, and we're like, what do you do? They're like, I work at a toll booth. They're like, ew, gross. You're terrible. And then they do it every week. Every week we have a different person. They'll call in, what do you do? I'm a waitress at a barbecue restaurant. Yeah, gross, disgusting. You're terrible. Do it again next Wednesday. Weird Job Wednesday. 10 years down the track.
Weird Job Wednesday?
Yeah, we do a Weird Job Wednesday.
Well, we because we realized like all jobs, there's some weird aspect of all of
Everything's
them. So we
unique.
just
Okay.
I'm
So,
joking
yeah.
around, but like all of them are fun. I mean,
Yeah.
and everybody's job has something cool about it, and
I
everybody's
agree.
job has something terrible about it. You know,
Yeah.
and, like that's a
I mean,
common equalizer.
the stand-up comedian is a weird job, and
Very.
and because there's so many.
Science stand-up comedian at the Science Center, very weird job.
But like having that avenue and that lane, is there a lot of other stand-ups or any
Ooh,
that you
science
know
stand-ups.
that do something similar to what you're doing?
There's a handful and a small hand. I mean, I don't know. When I started 10 years ago, it's been quite
That's
a long time.
Long time. Gotcha.
Yeah, it is. I was like the only one under the age of 40 who was like young female, not white, doing it.
Right.
And now there are more, but it's all about how you want to see it, right? So every science comedian has a different perspective of how they approach it. I'm a heavy joke writer. Like, I will do premise, punchline. Like, I am a writer to that. Other people do more storytelling things. People who do science comedy shows, they'll have a scientist go up there and then they'll have a comedian commenting on it, right? So it's like making jokes about the scientist and the research. Mine's more of like maybe monologue type jokes, as well as like general nerdery, incorporating my personal experience into the science, that kind of stuff. So everyone has their own style.
Gotcha. And then even like I guess the science or psychology behind like a crowd and entertaining them, making them laugh, and because I think. For the most part, when people go see stand up, like they want to laugh, so but you have to, hold their attention. Is part of it is like, and then it all goes to reading the room too, because so if you go in there and everybody has a tough time sometimes. I mean, no matter what. And have you dealt with that, like bombing and that kind of thing? Yeah.
You learn way more from a bomb than you do from a show going really well, and that's just part of it when you're in front of, especially science jokes, man. Like, people are not wanting to hear about science when they walk into a comedy club or a bar, right?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, have you ever had like a situation where you're performing and something went horribly wrong, or like they paid you to come and you realized that like, oh, they didn't know that I'm doing stand-up, like, because I'm sure if people get confused and book you for the wrong gig, and you ever had a nightmare gig?
Oh, so many. I have which one to choose from. My very first paid gig was in a restaurant hotel thingy, and this happens a lot. It's called ambush comedy, where you're doing a comedy show, but nobody else knows. So you just walk in there and everyone's eating, and all of a sudden it's like a person with like a loud DJ and saying, introducing your comedian, and you're just trying to interrupt people's like nice family dinners by telling them jokes that they don't want to hear. That makes you figure out how to connect with people.
And you're having to just straight power through, right?
Yeah, you do.
And then in the middle of it, you're like, whose idea was this? Like, are they like trying to prank me? Yeah, you're like, who are they pranking?
Why did they
I
do
feel
this?
bad for them. I'm like, I'm so sorry you have to go through this.
Is that where the Try the Veal came from? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, well, because a lot of those supper clubs back in the day, it was like it's a fine balance between like, are you there for the good meal, or are you there for whatever select entertainment, the singing woman, the pianist, whatever. Yeah.
Tip your waitress. Be kind to that person who's being kind to you.
Yeah. There are other times when I used to do this where I say, who here likes science? And there'd be dead silence. Sometimes people would just say no. There was one person.
Why would you say, who is that person? No, I do not like it.
There was another
anti.
There was another guy who he was in the front row, and this is the people before me were like real dirty, like real rough and tumble.
Yeah.
And I go up there, this small dainty Indian girl, being like, "Who here likes science?" And the guy in the front row goes in a thick accent, "Do we look like a crowd that likes science?" But I got him,
Yeah.
I want to yell at this, Bill. Did you have eyeglasses? Do you go to the doctor? Like, there's so many things. If you don't like science, you better be living in the middle of nowhere, nothing.
Do you like any of the comforts you have?
You're gonna die of your diabetes. So it's like, if you can't say you don't like science and live in this world.
We haven't walked through people enough. We haven't walked through their day and shown them where science comes into contact with their lives. I mean, we are very spoiled babies.
Which is why the Orlando Science Center is here.
Yeah.
How science affects your life.
You better not be wearing clothes. You better not be doing anything hygienic at all. The toothpaste, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to not do it if you say you don't like science.
Well, that's part of like my stand-up, right? I mean, I am a stand-up comedian. I perform at comedy clubs around the country, and they're not always marketed as science comedy. It's nice when they are because people know what to expect. But man, I'm going out at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night at a bar. No one's expecting science, but I have to engage with them. So, I have a TEDx talk called Sneaking Science into Stand-Up.
Yeah.
And that's literally, I did a whole analysis of like what do my science jokes do well or my non-science jokes. And basically I just had to figure out ways of how to incorporate it a little more seamlessly. So people are hearing science stuff, but they might not recognize it as science stuff. And that's fine with me. I mean, like I said earlier.
Probably better sneak it in there, man.
Yeah. Well, I can sneak it in there, but as long as they're laughing.
Yeah.
And I have people come up to me afterwards saying like, "Oh, I Googled the premise of your joke and it's true." I'm like, "Of course it's true."
Yeah, but they're trying to trick you.
Yeah.
I like how they're skeptical. Like,
I don't know.
You'd be surprised. I also get a lot of people asking me, "Are you really from West Virginia?" I'm like, why would I make that up?
Be like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
it's a heavy Indian brag to be from West Virginia, right? Like,
Yeah, why would I do that?
that is well, the things that people ask are strange. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a flex. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
West Virginia, but
Hell yeah.
Well, Kasha,
So
good.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, great
This
to
is so
meet
fun.
you. And again, she's going to be at Science Night Live, which
Yeah.
is tomorrow. Get your tickets if you're not a member. If you are a member, they're less expensive, and
Hey,
you
save some money.
go see Kasha, experience all the other
BMO's
yeah.
out there. You get to see some real. I would say this is the stacked deck of a Science Night Live. So
Oh, yeah.
for a good farewell to summer, head out there. Again, it's Science Night Live at the Orlando Science Center, osc.org.
Yep, from 8 o'clock to 11:30, and we will see you on Monday.